Kendrick Lamar has one of the most carefully curated catalogs in hip-hop. Every album feels like it was designed with precision, and that's exactly why his unreleased music is so fascinating. Some of these songs never made the cut, but they're strong enough that, if released, they could have gone platinum. In this video, I'll go through Kendrick's biggest unreleased tracks in chronological order, breaking down the album eras they belong to, the context around their creation, and why they never made it onto an official track list. We kick things off with Cartoons and Cereal, one of the most talked about Kendrick tracks that never made it onto an album. The song first dropped as a digital single back in February 2012, a few months before Good Kid officially released. It features gunplay and runs almost 7 minutes long. At its core, the track is about growing up and losing that sense of innocence. Cartoons and cereal are normally symbols of childhood comfort, but Kendrick flips the idea and uses them to represent how quickly reality sets in when you're surrounded by tough environments. His verses are detailed, heavy, and full of reflection, while gunplay matches the energy with a raw performance that surprised a lot of people. The production feels big and cinematic, the type of beat that makes the song sound more like a mini-movie than a single. For a lot of listeners, this was one of the first songs that showed just how far Kendrick was willing to take his storytelling. So why didn't it show up on GKMC? The answer is simple: sample clearance. The song had elements that couldn't get cleared in time, so it had to be left off the track list. But its presence was still felt on the album. Parts of the vocals from Cartoons and Cereal ended up being used on Money Trees, which became one of the standout records from GKMC. Even though it never officially landed on the project, the track was still a huge moment. Complex named it one of the best songs of 2012, and to this day fans still rank it as one of Kendrick's greatest works. It just goes to show that even songs he decides not to use can end up shaping the culture in a big way. The next unreleased track is Abortion Money, recorded during the sessions for To Pimp a Butterfly. Between 2014 and 2015, Kendrick was deep into building what would become one of the most important albums of his career. Lyrically, the song takes on heavy themes like money struggles, complicated relationships, and tough life decisions. It doesn't try to dress things up or make them sound pretty. Instead, it's direct and emotional, shining a light on experiences that don't usually make it into mainstream music. Just from the title alone, you can tell this was never meant to be a radio single. It was always more of a socially charged reflection, which is exactly what To Pimp a Butterfly was about. So why didn't it end up on the album? Well, To Pimp a Butterfly is already one of the most layered and complex rap albums ever made. Every song on that project plays a role in the story Kendrick wanted to tell. With so much material recorded, not everything could make the final cut. While Abortion Money definitely matches the weight of the album, it likely didn't fit into the exact flow and sequence Kendrick had in mind. From the Damn era, we get the song Somebody, which some fans also know as For Me. This track was recorded during the sessions for Kendrick's 2017 album, but didn't show up until years later. A rough version leaked in May 2019, and the full song followed in August 2020. The track runs for about 4 minutes and leans into a melodic, almost R&B vibe. It's personal and reflective, but still accessible in a way that fits perfectly with the sound of Damn. What really makes it stand out is the way Kendrick delivers his vocals. He takes a softer, more melodic approach here. Next up is Prayer, easily one of the most ambitious unreleased songs in Kendrick's entire catalogue. It was originally meant to be the title track for Mr. Morale when Kendrick recorded it around 2018, but the song leaked 2 years later in 2020, long before the album itself was released. This leak is very deep, as Kendrick takes on the perspectives of both Michael Jackson and Martin Luther King Jr., using their voices to reflect on art, legacy, and responsibility. The production, for a lot of fans, Prayer feels like a generational song, one of those rare tracks that could have defined an entire era if it had been officially released. Many listeners believe it served as a direct lead-up to The Heart Part 5, which carried similar themes of legacy and accountability during the rollout for Mr. Morale. In the end, Kendrick chose not to include Prayer on the final album, letting The Heart Part 5 take its place in the narrative. But even without an official release, the song has become one of the most respected unreleased tracks in his vault. It's the kind of music that reinforces why Kendrick is seen as a once-in-a-generation artist. Also from the Mr. Morale sessions is I Am Better, a track that some fans also know by its alternate title, Golden Child. Kendrick recorded this one between January and March of 2022, right as he was putting the finishing touches on the album. A version of the song surfaced online in December 2022, and that leak included vocals from Sampha. Originally, the track was meant to be part of Mr. Morale, but Kendrick decided to leave it off the final sequencing. After that, it was passed over to Sampha for possible inclusion on his own album, La High, but it didn't make that project either. Musically, I Am Better has a confident, bold energy, and it carries the same introspection that runs through Mr. Morale, but with a sharper, more competitive edge, almost like a declaration. That tone may be why it didn't fit the album's overall direction, which leaned more into family, vulnerability, and personal healing. Even though it never found an official home, fans still view I Am Better as one of the standout leaks from that era. It's a song that could have easily served as a centerpiece had Kendrick decided to release it. The last track on this list is Bodies, which is tied directly to the GNX era. This is Kendrick's most recent unreleased song, and the story behind it is already one of the most fascinating in his catalogue. In November 2024, just half an hour before GNX officially dropped, Kendrick surprised fans by uploading a self-directed music video to his YouTube channel. The video featured Bodies, but the song itself wasn't on the album's tracklist. Immediately, fans started breaking it down online, giving the track unofficial nicknames like Tiramisu and Body for Body. A few months later, in February 2025, Kendrick brought Bodies back in a major way by performing an extended version during the Super Bowl halftime show. That performance turned the song from a mysterious teaser into a cultural moment, forever tying it to the GNX rollout. Since then, there's been constant speculation about the track. Some fans believe Bodies is being saved for a future deluxe edition of GNX, while others see it as part of Kendrick's strategy, using unreleased material to create hype while keeping tight control over what officially makes it into his discography. Either way, Bodies is proof that Kendrick knows how to blur the line between what's released and what isn't. Even a single song from his vault can become a major piece of his storytelling. There are also a few more leaks that deserve a mention, even if they don't hold the same weight as the main ones we've covered. Loved Ones is one of Kendrick's more personal, unreleased tracks. Fans often link it to the Good Kid, Mad City era because of its reflective tone. It feels like the kind of song that could have worked as a heartfelt interlude, giving listeners another look at Kendrick's more vulnerable side. Real One takes a different direction. It's lighter, more free-flowing, and has the kind of energy that feels like it could have been dropped as a standalone single. It doesn't carry the same depth as some of his heavier, unreleased tracks, but it shows another side of his versatility. One On You brings back Kendrick's competitive edge. It's sharp, lyrical, and often compared to I Am Better because of its direct, confident delivery. Tracks like this remind people that even when he's experimenting with concepts and storytelling, Kendrick never loses touch with his pure rapping ability. Each of these songs adds another layer to Kendrick's vault. They may not have been cultural moments, but they show how wide his range really is, even in the material that never made an official project. That wraps up the list, but now I want to hear from you. Out of all these unreleased Kendrick tracks, which one is your favourite? And are there any leaks I didn't mention that you think deserve more attention? Drop your picks down in the comments. I'll be checking them out. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more hip-hop breakdowns just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.